here's what we know today. By God's grace, this is what we believe today. And if tomorrow the rules change again, then we're going to do the best we can do tomorrow. But
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Is what I'm saying, that that journey, eventually we're gonna, people, especially their large organizations, right? Not too many people, when it's real leadership around the company, if the people are not leaders themselves, they leave. They're uncomfortable.
They
are. So little by little, you will find, I think, our employees are a little bit of a reflection of myself.
I remember
even to the
early on in my management.
What happened to the office? See, true story. I'm going. I don't like to go to the office. I didn't like it. You have to wake up every day, go to the office, and because they told me go home, you don't need to come. So then I'm going less to the office. I go one day and I ask everybody. I said, guys, seriously, do you like to come to the office? And they were telling me, no, we hate it. I said, look, I'm thinking, I don't like to come to the office. Why am I going to make you guys to come to the office if you don't like it either? What's the point? And on top of that, I'm paying for the office. It's costing me money. This is only costing me money, and none of you want to be here anyway. And since this day, we send everybody online, and we have been working online from so many years that when COVID came in my company, everybody was looking around to say, well,
we've already pivoted.
Nothing happened. They continue like nothing happened because they're all working remote for a long time. So it's like that. And, I'm thinking like, if I don't like, one day I'm thinking at home and said, if I don't like to go to this place, do they really like it? Or let me ask around. So the thing you don't like yourself, check your team, right? What is depend that national business have an action that can be run online. Some of business can be, they need physical office, but this one particular was a property, and with technology
and give them what's going to be helpful for them to be productive, right? Because there are some people that do want to be in an office environment, or there are some people that do want this flexibility. Is if you can give them, it's almost kind of like parenting, right? I remember when we were raising our daughter, the goal was to give her permission to do something right before she was going to do it anyways. so that you didn't have to. Now that made it sound bad. We spent a lot of time, and she learned the right things, and she knew black and white and respect and all of those. But I think part of it is, a good leader takes their hands off the wheel. And that's a scary thing for some entrepreneurs. You deal with a lot of like solopreneurs who are building their practice. And I will maintain a practice is different than a business. A practice is based on that person, which may be a fine thing. There are lots of $1 million practices and multi-million-dollar practices. If you ever want to scale and be able to go to Bermuda for the summer for 3 months.
The problem comes because
you got to get beyond practice and have a business, and that's where you've got to give up control and let other people run things after you've trained them, like you've talked about, right? Give them the modeling, hold them accountable, give them some direction, and then take your hands off the wheel and realize you're gonna spend some money on their learning, and at the end of the day, it still lets you go to Bermuda for 3 months.
Yeah, but Andy, some people, what message do you have to some people that they don't want to surrender this ego? We have people, the entrepreneurs out there that they say, okay, I built this business. This business is Harry built it, and everybody has to do what Harry says. And Harry is the boss here, and this is what it is. And I have that ego, and I'm making all this business about me and about my ego, and this is how I operate. But when you look it down, the company is not profitable because, like you said, people leave. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
Really expensive to hire people and to train them. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And if people look at the numbers, if you have, like, for example, you said that you have team members from years, this is from the business point of view, really, really cost effective
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
and an asset for your business because you have someone that have been for so long there that they understand these team members that have been for so long
Exactly.
with me. I don't need to tell them, like, even the podcast. I want the podcast. That's it. I will figure it out.
Yeah.
It's time press a button. They already they know everything that I want.
Yeah.
And whatever I didn't even think about it because they know me so well that they already understand what I want. And this is
Yeah.
priceless. Rather than being micromanaging the people and get them on set and leave, then you need to
Yeah.
hire new
Yeah.
people, then you need to train them, which is extremely
Yeah.
expensive. So from the business point of view, it doesn't make sense financially. Don't embrace leadership into the organization.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
so why do
Once
you
again,
think that people
I think there's
don't take
that.
leadership seriously?
Yeah.
Prefer to lose money and prefer
Yeah.
to don't have time to spend with the family, with the people that they love, and then then they are angry because they're exhausted.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
manager that was telling you off, he's angry. Why is he angry? He's angry because the way that he behaved, he have a repercussion in the way that this team perform. And now he's not
Yeah.
meeting the numbers. So now he's angry, he cannot sleep, going more angry at work. And the numbers are not gonna meet there because if he's treating everybody like that, people are not performing and nobody cares and
Yeah.
it's a cycle that he will end up with because this emotional pain becomes a physical pain. You can end up with cancer, with a heart attack. He will end up with that. Not you, because you're gonna leave and that's it. But
Yeah.
the person in that situation. So if you don't turn from manager to leader, your mental health we take a hit on your body
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
personal head, and this will be the outcome. This I can
Yeah.
guarantee you that
Yeah.
guys. So what do you think, Andy? What would be the from the bottom of your heart? What is the power that of what can you share to the managers out there
Yeah.
that there is another way to do things where life is easy, where your team
Yeah. Yeah.
extra
Oh,
perform,
I think
where you're happy when
you,
you let it go, if
you
you
bet. You
switch
bet.
it.
So many of the things we've already touched on. I think it is important, Harry, you have got a very strong brand, right? You bring yourself to the table and you're the attractor. The very name of my firm, Neely Leadership Group, I struggled
I
with
love the name.
because I don't want to make it about me. And yet I recognize, but I'm the leader. I'm the one that people have seen up on stage. I'm the one that's written the books. I'm the one that's got the content and the intellectual property. But for both you and me, we've had to recognize, yeah, I might be the point person, but I don't want a practice the way Andy and Harry just defined it. Because a practice requires that doctor to see every single patient. That's why it's a private practice. No, I want a business. It still may be called the Neely Leadership Group, but I want other people using this stuff, which means my name may get sullied at times because they're not perfect. That's that tension of when you give up control, you risk cost, you risk time, you risk reputation. That's why it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, right? There's a lot of mistakes made along the way, a lot of expensive lessons. But if you're going to move from managing to really becoming the type of leader you and I are talking about, it requires you to be willing to let go of the wheel a bit. While you still are in charge of strategy, you're still in charge of vision, you're still the chief culture officer and the chief passion officer. But, you mentioned it a minute ago, I laugh with a couple of my team members. We talk about who's drinking the Kool-Aid, which means who's really understanding things, who's drinking the Kool-Aid. I've got a couple of my managers, they're pouring the Kool-Aid. They're not just drinking it. They're pouring the Kool-Aid. In some respects, when I can get the people underneath me to pour the Kool-Aid, my job's done.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Andy, the experience is amazing. It's priceless. It gives you a lot of fulfillment. It's not even,
Exactly right.
it's not even wealth. It's not even the money in the bank account. It's the sense of
No.
fulfillment.
And
Like,
yet the money ends up coming then oftentimes, right? Not always,
absolutely,
but
absolutely.
it's that principle of attraction, right? So
The
you
day, the
get,
day that they told me, Harry, go home, we don't need you in the office. I remember I left the office, and I'm like, I was lost. I'm like, what happened?
feeling
Did
guilty.
I
Yeah.
really did that
I
I
know.
became
I know.
myself obsolete in my own company? How this is happen? And at the beginning it was a little bit strange, but then I was happy, very very happy,
Yeah.
especially when the next day I don't need to put the alarm clock to wake up. I sleep calm. And next day
Yep.
I was more happy. I'm like, wow, I can't believe that somehow, kind of by accident, I put this on. Since then, the whole goal is about empowering people. That's why
Yeah.
we do this training to empower people to speak on
Yeah.
stage and to talk about the business on the stage.
Yeah. You want them to make the decisions that you would have made if you were there, and you don't need to be there.
Exactly.
That's what real empowerment is.
But then, Andy, like that, why nobody wants to be a leader? Why everybody's resisting to it? Why everybody prefer to be to don't let go the will?
Yeah.
Why which is a recipe for disaster? Yeah, and why
Mhm.
large organizations um, they don't take this seriously, and they are big organizations take turning over a lot of money, and still you find those structures and those managers that they are not leaders and having
Yeah.
a huge impact in the whole organization. And what can be done in order to improve that, especially in the big, because the big companies also have this problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. Huge. Well, and I still think it takes us back to the very things you and I talked about 43 minutes ago at this point, that whole misunderstanding that celebrity influencers are leaders, and it's about how much is the spotlight on you. That's not what a leader. And then I think that recognition that, man, it is scary to give up control. And I think not only, what we've talked about in terms of people are going to make mistakes, they're going to cost you money, they're going to cost you reputation, they're going to cost you time.
They might
But
steal
also
from you.
I think also at times you and I have to be very confident in who we are if we're going to let other people run things, because we're all insecure, right? And if I delegate an authority to somebody else and all of a sudden he or she is doing a better job than I did, are people going to think more highly of that person than me? Whew, that takes a bedrock of self-confidence to say, man, she must increase and I must decrease. That takes a solid humility in the truest sense, right? Not the self-effacing, I'm scum, but in that way that I just want the best for my organization. And if he is better than me, the best thing I can do is to give
That's the whole
him
point.
that ability.
the
That's
whole,
the
the
whole
whole
point.
point is to find people better than you.
That's
That's the whole
exactly
point of
right.
build the business. You should be happy. But Andy, let's
But
go
it is kind of counterintuitive,
to
because everything in our world is telling us you need to take care of yourself. And what
exactly.
you and I've been talking about for 45 minutes is, no, take care of them and they will take care of you.
Now let's talk, Andy, about your faith, because you're talking about that the person had to be very solid about who they are, about and so with your faith, that
Yeah, yeah,
you are have this belief,
right.
and then you go there and you pray. Do you think that by praying all this negative emotion, all this negative baggage that the business, you already find that channel where
Yeah,
you can release this negative baggage, and because you can release it, then you are more secure of yourself, More negativity can come next day. It doesn't matter. You have a place that have nothing to do with the business, have nothing to do with anything, where every time you go, you reinforce who you are, you work on yourself, and that gives you strength. And so when do you realize that you have to work on yourself? And if this church were actually, for me, it's working. I walk a lot, and these long walks allow me to, again, to release all this. But you know what happened? If entrepreneurs don't have that place where they can release all that, could be church, could be going for the work, then all this negative keep adding, then is when it comes the anger, then it will become the frustration, then it's gonna come that if you're angry, that culture that you're gonna give to all you people, everybody would be angry, lack of productivity. So how do you find this? Do you find really
well, I think I agree with you. I think for me it is pretty much a daily thing, right? I need to remind myself every day, and so I call it the leader's hour, and it's not a full 60 minutes, but the first part of the day where I have some disciplines that I go through that set my mind right. And you can see behind me: lead well, pray often, stay humble. I start my mornings in prayer. One of my favorite authors, he's taken a lot of our religious language and has kind of updated it. And he says, everybody talks about being a disciple of Jesus. We don't even know what that is. He said, I want us to think about becoming apprentices of the ultimate servant leader. And that's, Harry, that's what I'm trying to do. And as I told you, I had these bad bosses. At the same time, I'm reading the gospel accounts of this servant leader, Jesus, and I want to be more like him than them.
Absolutely.
I never get it right, but when I start my day off and end my day remembering he is ultimately in charge and I am not. Boy, when COVID hit more than 4 years ago now, we just all realized everything was going to change, right? We're shutting everything down. And my team and I ended up adopting a phrase. We would meet by virtually every single day to figure out what's the next step we can take. And we called it confident uncertainty. Here's what we know today. By God's grace, this is what we believe today. And if tomorrow the rules change again, then we're going to do the best we can do tomorrow. But God is still in charge, and all we're required to do is to get up and put one foot in front of the other. And you and I could both spend the rest of our podcast telling your listeners stories of, man, I didn't know what I was supposed to do, but I got out of bed and took the next step because of my faith, believing that there is a bigger power here that was ultimately in charge. And that's, I think at the end of the day, every good leader, you haven't said it quite this way, but you've been saying for 45 minutes, this profound truth, Harry. The first job of any leader is to lead themselves well. The first job of any leader is to lead themselves well.
And for that, Andy, you have to work on yourself. You have to work a lot on yourself. You prayed, or if you don't work on yourself and you have clarity who you are and what's your purpose. Like, for example, leader, if you find the root of the word, it means to serve. This is what the word means. Is to go to your company and say, okay, guys, how can I help you to do your job better? This is to serve them, to serve your team. I'm like, with our team, I treat them with love and with the best that I can, because these people waking up every day to make my company run and to make me and well. So the minimum that I can do is to serve them, and to be a support for them.
And to get out of their way once you've trained them well.
Exactly. So that's the whole point. So anyway, Andy, I think we have a very, very powerful conversation. One more thing, if people want to learn more about what we discussed today and they want to purchase your book, tell us how they can find you, how the process works, And
Well,
they can find your books as well.
You bet. You bet. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, neelyleadership.com is my website. Neillie, neelyleadership.com. The other thing, Harry, is my publicist had me put together a little ebook on leadership conversations, the 3 imperative leadership conversations, and your listeners can find that at leadershipmaterials.com. leadershipmaterials.com. They can download a little ebook on holding hard conversations, holding coaching conversations, holding the 3-fold affirmation conversation, the foundational leadership conversations. So leadershipmaterials.com or neelyleadership.com.
And with that note, thank you so much. That's been a broadcast fantastic. I love the topic. And I can think
What a
that,
pleasure.
Andy, like I said, all these problems that we have in society, not only in companies, in the world has only one word: lack of leadership.
Yeah.
So
I echo what you said.
I know that we can be talking today about business, that we can be talking about how to make millions, we can talk about this, and we could spend all our time talking about this. But I thought that was very good idea to enhancing leadership, because this is the core of every entrepreneur. And if our listeners can try to understand what we articulate in this broadcast today, it's gonna make a huge difference in their life. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been my privilege, Harry.
And for
what a great conversation. Thank you.
Pleasure. And for all of you following the Unstoppable Podcast, see you in our next episode. How brave entrepreneurs like Andy break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.